I think elections, they're always sort of something that makes you a little nervous. It's a difficult period when you're waiting on the election to happen. It's twice now I've been through that. I'm absolutely delighted that a majority of the members at Council have placed their faith in me for another year, for another period as President of the Association. Delighted to be in the role again and looking forward to the year ahead to try and do more good. If I'm looking at highlights, there's probably a number of different highlights. Early on it was probably the Super Cup. I had done none of the hard work to deliver that, but it was an absolute delight to see a competition like that come to Northern Ireland, to it run largely without a hitch. It was very well organised by the staff, very well organised and supported by our volunteers. I think I'm right in saying there were 326 of them. They were worth their weight in gold in terms of the contribution that they made. I think in the course of the year, a number of other highlights. It's difficult to single just one single one out. There would be a number. And maybe the par chair team, something I wouldn't have been closely aware of before or familiar with. I met the par chair coach, Michael Hilland, in an airport on the way through, and he invited me to go and see the par chair team training. So I very quickly took him up on that opportunity. And when you realise that's a national team of the same status of any of our national teams, it's a top team, and to realise that the boys and girls, the men and women there are putting in 3 hours every Sunday in Ballysillan Leisure Centre, training very hard, travelling great distances, and every bit as professional as any other one of our national teams. And I've certainly, a highlight for me has been getting outside Belfast. There's a big criticism that everything's about Belfast. It's been nice to be around all parts of Northern Ireland, to speak to people on their own patches, to hear their own issues, and to get an appreciation for what football and what the association itself means to them and what we can do for them to help them, what we can do to support them. For part of COVID there were very few supporters, but certainly Luxembourg, Cyprus, Kosovo, there had been more supporters. I've taken that opportunity to talk to people, to find out, try to find a bar where they're likely to be, to sit down, have a yarn and find out what their challenges are. We have people who put in a lot of time and effort, annual leave, money into travelling with the men's senior team. We're delighted of their support, but they're people and they're going through an awful lot of trouble to come and support us. So it's nice to hear what they get out of it, how they think it's great, and perhaps how they think things can be improved. And it's only by sitting down with someone that you get to hear those things. I was looking at my first interview where I felt a bit alien to me at that time, but certainly I was looking through what I said, and one of the things that I said, I wanted to be sort of transparent, open, visible, those kind of things. People will have various ideas in their head of what transparency means. For me, it's about being accessible. It's about talking to people. It's about saying no sometimes. People will ask for things and it's not possible to do them. Sometimes a no and a good reason for no is as valuable to someone as a yes. I found it fascinating. In fact, 11v11 is what everybody likes, and that kind of football is what brought us to the game. But there are so many other aspects to the Irish Football Association, what it delivers through the foundation, what hard-working, dedicated staff deliver on a regular basis. We need to build on all of that. But if I was looking at the women's game, we mentioned participation. For the women's game, that's the fastest growing part of the game, but we still don't have enough women's teams. I'm hoping that through the Women's Euros, through the work that's been done by Kenny Shields and the team, that we will be able to build on that. I think we're already starting to see an increase in numbers of girls wanting to come through and to get involved in the game. The rest of it is very much building on the year so far. I think people have got to know me, I hope they have. I've tried to use social media in a way that I think maybe none of my predecessors did. Why did I do that? Well, I thought I wanted my family, my friends to know the amount of time and effort I'm putting into that. I'm hoping they're proud of what I do, I certainly am. But equally I wanted other stakeholders to know that this just isn't you turn up, you take a bow at an awards ceremony, you go on a trip, if you want to call it that, for the national team, and that's all that you do. There are so many other things that you do that are important, that make a difference. It's recognising what I am on my own skin and what I can bring to the role.